This is the WJTS News. In tonight's news, we cover a plane crash that took place in Ferdinand Monday night. Carrie Schneider pays his usual visit to the Humane Society. Kurt Guxell is in with sports, and for tonight's WJTS Inform, we feature a speaker from ABATE and the president of DC Motorcycle Club. All this and more on 18 WJTS News. Good evening, I'm Jurnee Davis with WJTS News. Luck was on their side as two people escaped serious injuries in a late Monday evening plane crash on Ferdinand's southwest side. Indiana State Police say around 11 o'clock last night, a 1966 single-engine fixed-wing Cessna 150 crashed between the loading docks and truck-trailer parking area of Plant 22 of Master Brand Cabinets, located along the 600th block of West 3rd Street in Ferdinand. Police say two people on board, 52-year-old Gregory Solzred and 18-year-old passenger Winston Solzred, both of Georgia, were taken by ambulance to Memorial Hospital in Jasper with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the plane came down and skidded on a parking lot before hitting an embankment and overturning. They say the aircraft missed power lines, a building, and parked cars and trailers. Also, police say there were no injuries to any employees of Master Brand and only very minor property damage to the embankment. The primary cause of the crash is still under investigation, and investigators with the Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board have been notified to look into the incident. Indiana State Police Trooper Steve Nolan is the investigating trooper. Indiana State Police Sergeant Chad Dick assisted in the investigation as well. All efforts were made by the Indiana State Police not to impede normal operations of the factory or its employees. The Ferdinand Police Department, the Du Bois County Sheriff's Department, the Ferdinand Volunteer Fire Department, and the Memorial Hospital EMS and officials with the Huntingburg Airport all assisted at the scene. A report of a suspicious vehicle leads to a saved life. On Monday, June 18th at approximately 11:30 a.m., Off-duty Sergeant Keith Keller with the Martin County Sheriff's Department received a call from a Jasper firefighter, Carrie Kinder, reporting a suspicious vehicle just inside Martin County on the U.S. Highway 231 bridge, and he also reported what he thought to be a human head surfacing from the water below. Sergeant Keller immediately responded and requested assistance from the Hayesville Volunteer Fire Department and the Du Bois County Sheriff's Department. Indiana Conservation Officer Kyle Hembry overheard the dispatch communications and retrieved a department-issued boat. At approximately 12:52 p.m., Hembry located the subject with his head still above water, trapped in a log jam 5 miles downstream from that bridge. Hembry was able to rescue the subject. Responders including Sergeant Keller, Du Bois County deputies, members of the Hayesville Volunteer Fire Department, and Memorial Hospital EMS met Hembry and the suspect at the Portersville boat ramp. The male subject admitted to jumping from the bridge in an attempt to harm himself. He was then transported to Memorial Hospital in Jasper. His name is not being released at this time. A train derailment and explosion in Princeton Sunday night resulted in the closure of U.S. Highway 41 in both directions and caused a mandatory evacuation of a 1-mile radius of the area. Information about how the train derailed remains unknown. With a major CSX railway cutting through the heart of the city of Huntingburg, Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner says measures and precautionary steps have been taken to address the possibility of a similar issue taking place in the community. Spinner says officials have actually performed a readiness exercise for such an occurrence.
We actually had a full-scale exercise on what would happen should there be a train derailment or an accident of this nature, somewhat similar to what's happening in Princeton right now. You know, the rail yard is an essential part of our community. It's right here in the middle of our town. So this full-scale drill was held here in April of 2015, where they simulated, a leak in a rail car. All of our Du Bois County EMA was involved, including all of our local fire departments. The Huntingburg Volunteer Department took kind of the lead in that. They set up an emergency center. It was a full-scale, several hours involved. Everything from the amount of time it would take for emergency crews to get here from other areas. So are we prepared? I think we're as prepared as we can be, and working with EMA, this is the type of event that they schedule regularly. I know there's another event going to be scheduled soon of another type of exercise to prepare for this. I think we had a great drill. I think it's fresh in everyone's mind. We hope that that event does not happen ever. But should it happen, I think that we've got the processes in place to properly respond at every level. And I give all the credit to our EMA and for Tammy Humbert and their group to keep us at a high level of preparedness for such an event.
A railroad overpass currently under construction in Huntingburg will also help with traffic flow should an event such as what took place in Princeton Sunday evening occur. Spinner was enthusiastic about the progress made so far.
We're happy to report the project is on schedule, and that means we're looking at an opening sometime in October, depending on, again, weather-related things and other issues that are going on. But we're looking at probably opening of the railroad overpass by October of this year, which will be, again, the number one reason for this, going back to your previous question, is public safety. I think that's the only reason this project was able to be awarded in this area. Because with the railroad and incidents such as what we may be seeing in Princeton would shut down the rail line, this type of bridge would be absolutely necessary to maintain emergency traffic through our community. So that is the sole reason for the project. The economic impact will come along with it, but we're very happy to say that by this fall that there will be a true connection through Huntingburg to allow you to cross the railroad safely and efficiently through our community.
Meanwhile, Indiana State Police spokesman Sergeant Kurt Durnell says no one was injured in the accident. Durnell says CSX plans to remove some of the train cars to allow better access to the burning cars. He says the State Fire Marshal's office and CSX are monitoring air quality. U.S. Highway 41 was closed and a mandatory evacuation of nearby homes and businesses was ordered after 23 freight train cars derailed Sunday night in Princeton. The order was lifted and US 41 was reopened on Monday. County by county unemployment numbers for the month of May has been released, and thanks to an increase of 0.4% from April, Du Bois County has fallen into a two-way tie for second place as far as counties with the state's lowest unemployment mark. The Indiana Department of Workforce Development says Du Bois shared the number 2 spot with Elkhart County last month with a rate of 2.4%. 0.1% behind leader LaGrange County at 2.3%. Statewide, Indiana's unemployment rate was flat in May from April, marking a third consecutive month of no change. The department says the rate was 3.2%. The 3 steady months follow a decline in Indiana that was seen starting in November. The state's rate remained below the national rate of 3.8%, with the exception of October 2014, when it was equal to the national rate. The state's unemployment rate has been below the U.S. rate for more than 4 years. Locally, as we mentioned, Du Bois County was tied with Elkhart County with the state's second lowest unemployment rate in May at 2.4%. Davies and Martin both come in at 2.6%, Warwick at 2.8%, Spencer County 2.9%, Pike 3.1%, Perry 3.4%, Orange 3.6%, and Crawford County's May unemployment rate was 3.7%. Vermilion County, north of Terre Haute, once again had the state's highest unemployment mark last month at 4.6%. The jury in the murder trial of a Shoals man found him guilty of all 7 counts. Nathan Baker was found guilty of killing 52-year-old Tom Tharp and 82-year-old Alan Sims, both of Shoals. He was also found guilty on 2 felony counts of burglary, 2 felony counts of theft, and a felony charge of auto theft. At the time, Indiana State Police said the family of Tharp reported him missing. Their investigation led them to a home on Fred Sims Road. Police say the house belonged to Sims. They found Sims' body lying in the garage with a gunshot wound. Officers later found Tharp's body lying in a garden near the garage, also with a gunshot wound. The Martin County prosecutor says Baker stole Sims' gun and shot and killed both men. Afterwards, Baker stole Tharp's vehicle and drove away. A sentencing hearing will take place on July 21st. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held this past weekend for the 2017 DuBois County Leadership Academy Project Musical Park at 18th Street Park in Ferdinand. The event took place this past Saturday during the Ferdinand Heimat Fest. The musical park is officially completed and open for public use. Members of the Ferdinand Town Council were present for the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Members of the leadership group include Tammy Summersheim, Brett Pund, Eber Menjivar, Jamie Lindauer, and Emily Foose. The group extended a big thank you to all their sponsors that made the project possible, along with the Ferdinand Park Department for completing the installation. A state contractor is developing a plan that could clear the way for more tolling on Indiana's interstates. The state has signed a $9.6 million contract with HNTB Indiana Incorporated. The company will study the impact of tolling and provide project planning if the state chooses to move forward with the idea. Stephanie Wilson, a spokeswoman for Governor Eric Holcomb, says the Republican hasn't made a final decision on tolling, but his administration is required to study it under the 2017 road funding plan, which raised gas taxes. Holcomb has previously said that he is open to the idea of tolling roadways in 5 or 6 years, which would fall at the end of his second term if he's reelected. Stay tuned. Coming up, we have our Humane Society feature and much more here on WJTS.